Have you ever wondered why, despite all the brightness, strength, and light you radiate, the world seems to keep its distance? The truth is that being a chosen one comes with a heavy price, a hidden side that few are willing to face. And no, it's not just about luck or circumstance. There are invisible forces at play, making it so that, no matter how hard you try, you end up pushing away friends and relationships. Seems unfair, right? But what if I told you that this loneliness is actually preparation for something much bigger? A journey that only the strongest, those who possess a high vibrational frequency, are capable of enduring. What most people don't understand is that your unique energy is not just a magnet for good things, but also a revealer of uncomfortable truths. Your presence makes masks fall, and those who aren't ready to deal with their own shadows tend to flee. Don't be fooled, this doesn't mean you're doomed to live in isolation. In fact, this isolation is the first step of a profound transformation, where your spiritual growth and divine purpose begin to flourish. But what few know is that, before finding the right people, you need to master solitude. Ready to discover how? There's a reason why the chosen ones often walk alone. Those who possess a unique and bright light end up repelling those who aren't ready to face the truth that this light reveals. This creates a natural barrier between the chosen ones and the rest of the world. What might seem like rejection to many is actually protection, as only those in tune with the same vibrational frequency can approach without being consumed by the fear of exposure. It's like being in a room full of people but feeling like no one truly understands who you are. This distancing isn't something the chosen seek consciously, but rather a consequence of their own essence. Imagine being a light in the midst of darkness. The light illuminates everything around but also reveals the shadows that many prefer to keep hidden. People who aren't ready to confront their own flaws or fears tend to back away. This explains why many chosen ones find themselves without deep friendships or relationships, not due to a lack of desire, but because others struggle to handle the exposure that their presence provokes. Thus, the chosen ones experience a form of loneliness that is almost incomprehensible to those around them. They carry a light so intense that, even unintentionally, they end up pushing away those who aren't ready to evolve. However, this loneliness is not a burden but an essential part of the journey. Over time, the chosen ones realize that this solitary path is actually preparation for something greater. Instead of constantly seeking companionship, they learn to value the peace and depth that this loneliness provides, paving the way for the next understanding of their unique energy. The energy of the chosen ones is something beyond the ordinary. They possess a unique light that not only sets them apart but also places them in a position of great power and responsibility. This energy is vibrant, and wherever they go, their presence is intensely felt. But this same light, which attracts so many, also creates a barrier. People who are at lower vibrational frequencies or cannot handle the intensity of this energy tend to feel uncomfortable, often without even understanding why. It's not a conscious choice, it's simply the natural impact of such elevated energy. This contrast in energies creates a complex dynamic in interactions. For some, being near a chosen one is like approaching a lighthouse on a dark night. It brings clarity, comfort, and even inspiration. But for others, this same light can be blinding, revealing parts of themselves they would rather keep in the shadows. In many cases, this unconscious repulsion manifests as distance or withdrawal, leaving the chosen ones in a constant cycle of superficial connections that never quite deepen. They end up attracting many, but few are able to stay. This dance between attraction and repulsion can be exhausting for the chosen. But it's important for them to understand that their energy, no matter how uncomfortable it may make some people feel, is a gift. The key is accepting that not everyone is ready for the intensity of their light, and this is not a flaw but part of their path. Over time, those who can resonate on the same frequency will appear, creating true and deep connections. This understanding is essential for maintaining balance while facing the energetic drain that comes with so many interactions. One of the biggest challenges chosen ones face in relationships is energetic drain. When someone possesses a high vibrational frequency like the chosen, they often attract people who seek this light to fulfill their own voids. The problem is that these people often don't have the capacity to return that energy with the same intensity. This creates a constant imbalance, where the chosen ones end up feeling drained and exhausted, without even realizing how much of their vitality is being sapped. It's like a flame that illuminates everyone but rarely finds another flame to feed it in return. This imbalance occurs subtly. It might start with small requests for attention, emotional help, or even constant need for support. But over time, the chosen ones realize they're giving far more than they're receiving. This can happen in romantic relationships, friendships, or even family ties. The challenge is recognizing when these dynamics start to harm their own energy. A good example is when the chosen ones feel mentally and physically drained after interacting with certain people, even when no apparent conflict occurs. That's why, over time, chosen ones learn to be more selective about who they share their energy with. They understand that to maintain their balance and continue on their path of spiritual growth, it's necessary to be surrounded by people who also contribute positively. This doesn't mean cutting all ties but rather establishing healthy boundaries where the exchange of energy is fair and reciprocal. Those who respect and value the light of the chosen ones are the ones who truly deserve a place in their lives, allowing genuine relationships to flourish. Chosen ones often carry deep scars from past traumas that need to be faced in order for them to truly evolve. These wounds, often rooted in childhood, tend to shape the way they relate to others and to themselves. It's a delicate but essential process for them to break free from patterns that no longer serve their life's purpose. Inner healing is not quick, but it's the foundation upon which they can build healthy, lasting relationships, both emotionally and spiritually. This journey of inner healing can be painful, as it involves revisiting memories and experiences they'd rather leave buried. However, it's important to understand that until these wounds are addressed, they will continue to influence their decisions and interactions. A practical example would be recognizing how patterns of distrust or fear of abandonment can sabotage a promising relationship. Letting go of this emotional baggage is like removing the weight of a backpack you've been carrying for years. Only when you're lighter do you realize how much it was holding you back.
Want to transform your life from the inside out? Check out our ebook with practical tools for real change. Go to the pinned comment, click the link, and see how to start your transformation today.
During this process, solitude can be an ally. The chosen ones need space to reconnect with themselves, to process their emotions, and to heal those wounds. Practices like meditation, therapeutic writing, and even holistic therapies can be powerful tools in this healing journey. This phase of introspection not only helps release traumas but also opens doors to deep self-knowledge, preparing the ground for more meaningful relationships in the future. Loneliness, often seen as a burden, transforms into an invaluable gift for the chosen ones on their path of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Being removed from the external chaos allows them to dive deeply into themselves, exploring their truths and aligning with their purest essence. In these moments, true wisdom emerges, and the chosen begin to realize that in order to evolve spiritually, they must first understand their own soul. This journey of self-knowledge is essential for them to fulfill their divine purpose. When loneliness is embraced as an opportunity for growth, the chosen realize it doesn't isolate them from the world, but rather connects them more deeply with themselves. It's in this inner silence that they find answers to questions that have always accompanied them. A practical example would be using this time for practices like meditation, reading books that stimulate spiritual awakening, such as The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or even internal journeys through reflective writing. These moments of introspection help build a solid foundation for the future. This process of spiritual growth also strengthens the chosen to face the challenges that will inevitably arise. When they understand who they truly are and when they are aligned with their highest energies, they become more resilient to adversity. The path of self-knowledge may be solitary, but it prepares the ground for deeper and more meaningful connections in the future. As they come to know themselves better, the chosen are more prepared for the great missions and relationships that lie ahead. The loneliness of the chosen, though it may seem heavy at first, is actually a phase of preparation for something much greater. The universe, in its wisdom, knows that the chosen need time and space to strengthen themselves before taking on the true role they are destined for. These moments of isolation are opportunities to refine their skills, align their energy with their mission, and connect more deeply with their divine purpose. This period is essential so that when the call comes, they are ready to respond with confidence and clarity. During this preparation, the chosen may feel like they are on the sidelines of life, watching as others move forward with their relationships and achievements. However, this waiting time is a phase of energetic alignment. Just as an athlete trains before a competition, the chosen are being prepared for challenges and responsibilities that go beyond the ordinary. They are strengthening themselves, both emotionally and spiritually, to withstand the impact of the great changes that are to come. What many do not realize is that this phase of preparation also involves attracting the right people into their lives. As they develop, their future partners, friends, and allies are also being shaped. The universe is silently working to align all the pieces of the puzzle. So, when the time is right, everything will fit perfectly, and the chosen will be ready to fulfill their role with mastery. This is just the beginning of a much greater purpose that has yet to be revealed. Chosen ones are not satisfied with superficial connections. Their essence seeks something deeper, something that resonates with their most intimate and spiritual truths. They desire relationships that are authentic, where they can fully express themselves without masks or superficiality. This search, however, is challenging, as not everyone is ready or willing to dive into the depth that the chosen offer. Often, this results in prolonged periods of waiting, but it's a wait that's worth it because only those who vibrate on the same energetic frequency can share this journey. The difficulty in finding these authentic connections can lead the chosen to question their own ability to relate. However, it's important to remember that the problem isn't with them, but with the resonance of the energies around them. A practical example would be avoiding forced connections in environments where superficiality prevails, like social media or groups that don't share the same values. Instead, the chosen can seek out environments that encourage authenticity, such as spiritual communities or meditation circles, where the exchange is genuine and deep. Patience becomes a virtue in this process. The chosen learn that it's better to be alone than in relationships that don't nourish their soul. And when they finally find those who resonate with their truth, these connections are transformative. They aren't just relationships, but partnerships that nurture mutual growth and alignment with the divine purpose. It's as if, after a long search, the pieces of the puzzle finally fit together, allowing the chosen to share their journey with those who truly understand them. The emotional wounds that the chosen carry often lead them to build defensive barriers to protect themselves from further suffering. After having experienced deep disappointments, they develop defense mechanisms that can prevent new hurt, but they also end up making it harder to form new connections. These barriers, though necessary at certain times, can become an obstacle when they aren't understood and addressed. Protecting oneself is important, but the chosen need to learn how to balance this protection with openness to new possibilities. These mechanisms can manifest in behaviors like avoiding emotional involvement or keeping people at a distance. A classic example is the fear of fully trusting someone, stemming from past experiences where that trust was broken. However, it's essential for the chosen to recognize that, while these barriers were useful in times of pain, they cannot continue to govern their lives indefinitely. Otherwise, they end up isolating themselves from potential relationships that could be enriching. Working through these defenses is a necessary step on the path to inner healing. Trauma-focused therapies, like cognitive behavioral therapy, can be useful tools in this process. Additionally, spiritual practices that promote self-awareness, like yoga and meditation, help release these emotional blockages, allowing the chosen to find a healthy balance between emotional protection and vulnerability. Only then will they be ready to open themselves up again to authentic and meaningful relationships. For the chosen, being understood is one of the greatest challenges they face. The depth of their souls, their keen understanding of life, and the spiritual perception they possess often intimidate or confuse those around them. Many cannot keep up with the elevated level of consciousness that the chosen have, which can lead to misunderstanding, even distance. On many occasions, they may be seen as different, not because they strive to be, but because they see reality with a clarity that few are ready to accept. This distance is not just a matter of ideas but of energetic vibration. When the chosen enter an environment or relationship, their vibrational frequencies alter the dynamics around them. People who are not yet ready for this kind of spiritual expansion may feel uncomfortable or even threatened. A practical example is when the chosen talk about deep topics like the purpose of life or self-knowledge, and those around them feel disconnected or out of place in the conversation. That's why finding other souls on the same level of consciousness becomes so crucial. This kind of connection is rare, but when it happens, the chosen experience a sense of belonging that they have long sought. Meanwhile, the challenge of being understood remains, but they learn to embrace this difference, recognizing that not everyone is ready for the same journey. This strengthens them and, at the same time, prepares them for the true connections yet to come. Emotional self-sufficiency is one of the greatest achievements that chosen ones can reach along their journey. For them, learning to be emotionally independent is vital because it means they don't rely on external validation to feel complete. When the chosen become self-sufficient, they stop seeking in others what they already possess within, the certainty of their value and purpose. This self-sufficiency is not about avoiding connections, but about entering them in a balanced and healthy way, without the need to fill emotional voids. The path to this self-sufficiency, however, is not easy. It requires a lot of introspection, healing, and practice. Regular meditation, spending time in solitude, and practicing self-care are just a few practical examples that can help the chosen strengthen themselves emotionally. When they learn to find peace and happiness within, they free themselves from the unrealistic expectations they often placed on others. They understand that any relationship must be an exchange of positive energies, not a desperate search for something missing. With this solid foundation, the chosen are more prepared to build true and lasting relationships. They enter each connection as complete individuals, capable of sharing their light and energy without expecting the other person to fill an emotional void. This level of emotional maturity makes them even more attractive to those who vibrate at the same frequency, allowing balanced and spiritually aligned relationships to flourish. Ultimately, this self-sufficiency is the starting point for much deeper and more authentic relationships. Now that you've understood the hidden side of the life of the chosen, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? The loneliness you feel, the energy you radiate, all of it has a greater purpose. It's time to turn these challenges into personal power. Start applying what you've learned here, strengthen your emotional self-sufficiency, adjust your relationships to maintain energetic balance, and never stop seeking your spiritual growth. Which part of your life needs this transformation the most right now? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, the chosen ones aren't just those who live, but those who transform everything around them. So, don't waste time and subscribe to the channel to keep learning how to walk this path of spiritual evolution. Activate notifications so you don't miss any content, and together, let's strengthen this journey.